And that's not a pet crocodile, that's a croc shoe. That's a shoe that smells like dumpster funk most of the time, and in this case in particular, it has led to alien life being spawned.
And I'm also being told it is a very fashionable shoe.
I'm being told that that's incorrect. We're sorry, we're going to retract that statement.
But
it is not a fashionable shoe, and we'd like to apologize as a network.
His finger is not on his ear, therefore, go with me on this one. Very fashionable shoe. I'm wearing.
I could do that as
right
well.
now.
I also have tattoos.
Crocs.
Never seen a news anchor with those, have you?
That'd be pretty cool. That's like a Vice thing.
Yes, the weatherman.
Like a Vice
the tattooed weatherman. Of course, these tattoos end sort of abruptly. You know, it's like, yeah, that's probably not real.
If you cover this part up and this part, it could look like it was real. Oh, let me see that. I bet you we could shove a cow tongue in there. Man, I can't believe that I actually put the cow tongue.
I knew that it had to be something that was kind of gross, because every time Lizzie or Stevie came out of that room, they had this look on their face like,
I'm about to vomit?
Yeah, I just was like, oh, I mean, but I couldn't think of anything. I said sub sandwich, that was incorrect.
It's so heavy. Like, I can't convey to you guys how heavy this thing is. It's like 4 pounds.
I didn't know what it was until I got it out completely. I thought it was a squid for a long time.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the weirdest squid I've ever seen.
Squid.
It's got one big tentacle.
Heavy for a squid. Okay, so you were about to tell me, and then we just said wait and let's keep the mythical beast as a part of this experience, about a series of ultra odd events that happened to you at a park.
Don't build it up that much. But
what happened?
I had my own little people watching session at the park the other day. I took my son to diving, and while he was diving, I went into the park near the aquatic center and got out my laptop and did a little GMM research, as I like to do. And while I was doing that, I was up against like the bottom of this hill, mountain kind of thing, sitting at a picnic table, and kind of had like a view of the entire park. And there was also like a road right in front of me, but kind of like a maintenance road. Cars can go on it, but it's not really for cars. So anyway, so the first thing that happens is this woman, this family with 3 kids, they're like teaching their daughters how to scooter on scooters.
Oh yeah.
And like one of them falls.
Moped?
No, push scooters. They were talking like a
1 foot up,
like
1
a
foot
2-year-old.
down. Yeah.
And the little girl wrecks and starts crying, and they stopped right in front of me, like, because they were going along, and then she wrecks, and they're sitting there, and they took 30 minutes to console this little girl. I mean, it was, it was a little excessive,
overboard.
a little excessive in my opinion. When my kids fall down, we're like, get up, boys. But anyway.
Did you verbalize that? Were you
I was thinking that though. I was
a little excessive.
I was definitely judging.
Consolement here.
Definitely judging.
Move it along, parents.
And then, as if karma struck, the bad parenting karma struck, the mom was sitting there on the side of the road on the curb, and
the same mom?
The same mom was sitting there on the curb, and there was the sewer, like the drainage going into the sewer right there. And all of a sudden, I just hear, the mom is sitting there, and all of a sudden I hear the mom let out a large, loud expletive that you normally wouldn't hear a mom say while she's with her kids like this. And then she's like, my phone! My phone went in the sewer! And sure enough, her phone had fallen out of her pocket and gone right into the thing. And of course, now they're like trying to figure out how to get the grate off, but they're not gonna do it. Like the husband's like, honey, I don't think I can get the grate off.
You're like sitting there like,
And then the mom is like, well, I'm gonna go and see if I can find somebody, and she goes off on the little kid's scooter.
She scooted off.
Yeah. And then she's like, see if there's another way to get it off. And he's like, honey, I don't think there's a way to get it off. She says, I'm just asking you to try. And she scoots away on like a 1-year-old scooter. But she was so mad. I feel for her, because you lose your phone and you're like, I'm not gonna get it back, and But that was just event 1. The second,
I wonder if she could see it through the grate.
I think they could.
Ooh, that's even worse.
The second event also involved a scooter.
Did they just leave eventually? I mean, what happened?
They left, and then I left. I think they went to talk to an authority figure, and then I had to go pick lockup, so I don't know.
You, sir, you've got long tattooed arms. Why don't you reach down to the sewer?
But there was no reaching it. I think it was way down there.
Oh.
So the second thing also involved a scooter. I hear somebody saying, Dashel! Dashel, slow down, Dashel! Dashel, I'm gonna take the scooter. Dashel.
A kid named
That's
Dashel?
Dad talking to Dashel. Then I see Dashel dashing. He is like no more than 18 months old. He can't actually use words because as he goes by on the scooter like 30 miles an hour with a helmet on with like this little blonde hair coming out the back, he's like, like talking to himself. And he is going so fast. Like, and then he'll stop. He stopped right in front of me.
Maybe he was eating something.
No, he was trying to talk. He stopped right in front of me and he like looks at his dad and his dad's like, Dashel, don't start. And then Dashel's like, and takes off again.
It's like chasing after a dog.
It was amazing. Dashel was so fast.
And incidentally, that is the name of a dog, not a human.
And they couldn't catch Dashel. And then
Have you heard of
Then
any?
he came back by. And then
really?
Dashel was still ahead of Dad. I don't know if he ever found him. I don't know if Dad ever caught up with Dashel.
Have you ever heard of anyone being named Dashel?
That kid. And then the last thing.
What is Dashel from? Is that referencing something?
It could be named after Tom Dashel, politician. Remember Tom Dashel?
The Incredible Dash. Yeah, his name was Dash. It wasn't Dashel.
Dash is short for Dashel. And then the last thing that happened was probably the best. There was a guy who had 2 large boxers, off leash.
He's wearing 2 sets of boxers, one on each
The largest
leg.
set of underwear I've ever seen. 2 boxer dogs, and these things are just wild and all over the place and just running
Off
around.
leash?
Off leash, which I saw a number of dogs off leash, and I think that there's an area of like the park there where you can have the dogs off leash. But these dogs are just going nuts.
If it's off leash, yeah, I'd have Dashel on a leash. Then.
Running all over the place, and then the 2 boxers come up to me, and they're just like, the boxers have like the short nose, so they don't breathe very efficiently, but they're like slobbering everywhere, and they've been running around the park. So they come out there and they're like they're like the loudest, drooliest dogs, and then they go up to the water fountain, the human water fountain, and put their feet up on it, and then like they're waiting for their owner to come up because this has happened before. The owner comes up and he turns on the human water fountain, and the dogs are just like, and they're like licking the water and licking the water fountain and licking the mechanism and all this stuff. They're there for 10 minutes.
And you know what?
Water.
I wouldn't believe you if I hadn't seen that exact same thing happen at another park.
Yeah, it's common practice.
I saw it was a public water fountain for humans that had to be at least 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
And somebody let their Labrador Retriever get up there, and they hit the thing and they lapped it right up too. And tongue was going all over the mechanism.
All over it. Well, so this happens, and he's right there next to me. I'm like, I'm not gonna say something to this guy. I'm not gonna anyway. But then I've kind of got
then you got really thirsty.
My attention down into my laptop, and then as I raise my head, I realize a jogger is coming up to the water fountain.
Oh no!
And like I had like 3 seconds to act, and he just goes up and he goes, and it's just like I was like, I had 3 seconds to say there's some dogs on there, but I just let him drink out of it because you
are a complacent, self-centered park watcher.
I mean, listen, I can't control who has access to the water fountain. I'm there for this small period of time. I mean, the next jogger is going to come along. What kind of difference can I really make? Unless I was on that What Would You Do show, and I was supposed to point out that the dogs have been on the water fountain.
Yeah, like
also,
all of a sudden Chris Hansen comes out. I'm Chris Hansen.
It's John Quinones, I think. Yeah, that's
well, if you were a predator.
That's to catch a predator. But
you didn't see any of that out.
The one thing that I thought was, dog saliva is used to treat wounds. They say that you should let a dog lick your wounds.
Yeah,
so
it's
I probably cured herpes on this guy's face or something.
Well, no. The vampire website did say that human saliva needs more of a tetanus shot than dog saliva.
Yeah. So there you go.
I'm
just helping people by not acting.
Can I point out something? Yeah. All 3 cases, you had the chance to do something, anything
I was a
to help.
bystander, man. I was working.
And you did nothing 3 times in a row.
Here's the deal.
You denied.
Here's the deal. If I had stopped Dashel, it would have been this large man trying to stop this little kid. It would have seemed like, oh, this guy's worst nightmares
put him in
true.
a sleeper hole.
Now the kidnapper's shown up. I didn't have on my tattoos, but it would have been, he wouldn't have liked that. And if I'd have gone over there to the great, maybe I could have offered some emotional support for that woman. But there was absolutely no way anybody's going to get that thing out today.
Hey, baby, I'm sorry.
I feel for you, baby.
I'm sorry you lost your phone, baby.
I saw your kid fall earlier. I judged you a little bit, but now we're all in this together. With
Look at your husband right here, baby. He doesn't know what to do either, baby.
Yeah.
I was watching Jurassic World with Lily and Lincoln, and all of a sudden, somebody took a picture. Like a flash.
My shirt.
It's like, why are they taking a picture? And then someone over here took a picture. And then I looked at the person taking the picture, and they were standing above the exit, and they were an exit sign, and it was a fire alarm going off.
Oh, that's very interesting.
But there was not much of an audible sound, so it was just like a white light that would flash ever so often.
Oh, this is the picture part of the movie.
And somebody stood up. It was a full house. Somebody stood up down there, and then I was like, this is a fire alarm, and I grabbed my kids, and I was the second person to stand up and get out of there because I got my kids with me, man.
Did you see any smoke or anything?
I didn't see anything except the flash photography.
Do you think it was a false alarm?
I immediately thought it was a false alarm, and if my kids weren't there, I probably would have stayed, and I would have waited a little bit. Now, Chase, you were in the theater too, right? With your sister?
My whole family.
Your full family?
Yeah.
Like you were just eating? And what did you guys do? You didn't see me?
I didn't see you, but I saw Ben. Ben was there.
Ben was in the theater too?
No, Ben was downstairs. He like attacked me, and I was like, "Who's attacking me?" And it was Ben, and he was like, "I heard that you didn't get to finish your movie."
It was 30 minutes.
Did you get to go back?
Yeah, we went back in, and then
They restarted it?
they restarted it, and then but they started it. It was like 30 minutes later, and then it took them a long time to get it going again. Like they started it, and it was like
Gotta get that
15
reel
minutes
going.
later, and the sound
Did you get a
wasn't
refund?
working, and finally they like got it back to where it should be. And then yeah, they told us to just like bring your ticket back in like any other time. And so if you guys still have your tickets,
I got a
you
refund.
Yeah, you get
I went
free
back
movies.
the next day and watched it.
You did?
I didn't
I watched,
realize
yeah, but after the first 30 minutes. I sent the kids in, and then I got the refund. I was like, I don't want to watch the first 30 minutes again. But we went out the back, like the emergency exit all the way, and like I'm holding, and you never know, you know? It could have been something.
Could have been a real fire.
So
Fire department showed up.
fire department showed up and everything. I don't know what the story was, but listen, that's not the story I want to tell you guys, and I wanted to tell this story for a while now because this happened over the weekend. And this was traumatic. Like the way that I teased to it was, I almost got in a fist fight, and I'm not exaggerating. Now, but it was so traumatic that my memory is fuzzy, and I wish Christy was here because I bet she would tell the story a lot better than I'm about to tell it. So just forgive me if all the dots don't connect, because it's one of those things that like for a while I was like, I'm just gonna act like that didn't happen because it makes me feel so weird. And in the theme of this episode, you be the judge if it was my mistake or not.
Okay. I'll be the judge, because you have held this story back from me.
From you, I haven't told you.
So that you can tell it on Good Mythical More.
But I know that Christy was talking to Jesse, and I heard her saying, like, did Link tell Rhett about this, what happened? And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna tell him. I'm gonna wait and tell him on Good Mythical More with you guys. All right, so where do I start? I'll try to keep this quick. We're running errands in the minivan, and I'm proud of that.
Yep.
I'm driving it. My wife's in the front seat, and my 3 kids are in the back.
Yeah.
And we're running errands, and I'm not gonna throw my kids under the bus, but
You might throw them under the minivan.
man, they are. Sometimes it's just you put a lot of people in a minivan running errands that no kid wants to be a part of.
Yeah.
And tensions rise.
Yeah. They don't show their best side.
And neither does Dad after a while.
Yeah, right.
So like,
Early on,
it was just one of those things where it was like I didn't have any, like my tank was dry.
Yep.
There was no patience left in my tank.
Short wick, they call
And
it.
it was like 11 a.m.
Short fuse, actually. Had a short wick, man.
No.
My candle was about to extinguish.
Okay. So, and this was still like 11 a.m. So
fuse.
I'm not having a good day. Incidentally, to make up for it, we went to Jurassic World, and that's when the whole evacuation happened.
Yeah.
So this was just a weird day. And so we're riding around, and then all of a sudden I'm like, whoop, I'm on E. I got to get some gas. And like I make a split-second decision.
Does your car make that noise?
No, it has
That's
a
nice
light.
feature
It has a light.
of the minivan. whoop, whoop, whoop. You're on E.
So I pull into the gas station. Like I made a split-second decision to pull into the gas station, and the gas station is full of cars.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where there's like one
apocalyptic out
there's
here,
like
man.
one slot open on the other
No
side.
gas stations for some
and
reason.
so I have to drive around, and like it's a small. There's like 4 pumps, and you know like 2, 4, 6, 7 people. And I see this one slot. I have to go to the other side, and then I have to do a 3-point turn. But I just so happen to have to do the 3-point turn at the other exit to the gas station.
Oh.
So yeah, it looks like I'm exiting the gas station. So, and then I put it in reverse, and my minivan has a rear view camera because it's awesome.
Yep.
And I'm not gonna apologize for it.
It'll come standard with every Honda now.
Of course, I didn't look at it.
What?
Didn't look at the rear view mirror, at the rear view picture.
Oh, you didn't use it.
I just put it in reverse and started going.
Oh yeah, of course.
And then I
It's a
heard
minivan. People get out of the way.
I heard a whack. I heard a whack, and it was someone hitting their horn. And then I slam on brakes, and I look in the thing, and there's a car. And then I look behind me, and it's a guy in like a sedan, like an old Accord or something. One guy, and he's like, you know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. He's saying something, but you can't hear it because his windows
right.
are closed.
Or he was just doing, and like maybe he wasn't
He's
audibly
probably making
saying
noise.
anything, but it seemed like he was making a lot of noise
Probably calling you a wordy dirt.
at me.
Yeah.
And so then I'm like, so then I turn around and he's doing it. So I turn around and I'm like, back at him.
Oh, why did you do that?
I went, and then I went like,
I'm in a minivan. I didn't look
trying
at
to
my
do
camera. Give me a break.
I'm trying to do a 3-point turn to get to the tank. And then he just goes, he slams on his gas. And he's like, and goes around the car and exits, like peels out.
Okay.
And so
Should
then,
have been over right. That's when it's over.
and at that moment, I made a split-second non-decision reaction to lay on my horn as hard as I could. And I'm like, and we're done. That's how long I laid on my horn.
Because he had done nothing wrong. Right. That's why you.
He was so upset about me almost. I didn't almost hit him. I didn't almost hit it.
Yeah, because you stopped because he beeped his horn.
Yeah, a little. But then he gave all these gestures and like peeled out around me. So I'm like, "Frank," and then I said, so I go, "Beep." That felt good. And I looked at Christy, and then I looked back, and then the guy who was pumping his gas right there was laughing and smiling, and I was like, I like made a Joker face at him, like I like that was fun.
Sometimes I
And so then
wonder.
I pull back and I pull in, and
It all happens inside of your mind.
as I'm about to get out and start pumping the gas, the car pulls up right there beside the van.
He's back.
I roll the window down. So I roll the window down, and I roll Christy's window down because he's on her side. So Christy's here, my window's here,
so
and the guy's right there. I'm like, "Meh."
Say something to him, Christy.
And I'm like, so I roll the window down. I'm like, and he's like, the dude immediately gets out of his car, and his face is in the window, and he's like, his hands are gripping where the window went down.
This is why you.
And he's leaning in, and the dude is shaking. Like Christy told me later, he was shaking the whole time. Now this dude, he had on a uniform, like he came from work, like he was working, like a kind of a mechanic uniform.
A blue collar?
It had like patches on it.
Sure he wasn't military?
He wasn't military. It was like public works or something is what it said on it.
Okay.
And he just immediately, think of a word that's naughty, and he said it. Like he dropped so many F-bombs that it was, my van started to shake. And that was right off the bat. So then I'm just like gonna listen to the guy and respond. But Christy got upset because he's like just having a litany of bad naughty words in front of the kids who are like all like, and he's like, why don't you, and you know, I'm not gonna use the expletives here. There's no need.
Okay. I'll just put beeps in for you.
But his basic sentiment was, you jerk. What are you doing blowing your horn at me? Apologize for blowing your horn at me.
Ooh.
Right now.
Put you on the spot.
And I was like, I can't remember what I said, but it was probably the word honk was in it, and then I immediately.
What are you thinking? Did you say that?
Like, no, I was like, yeah, I honked, but you honked. And I was like, that's not logical. That doesn't work. He honked because I'm like, I gotta backtrack on that. And he's upset.
Are you like, yeah?
I tried to keep it calm. He was like, and this goes on for a while, but then he's just like, he would state his case, and then he would just start saying, you effing jerk of a so-and-so. Huh?
You said Christy did something.
Christy started talking to him and saying things like, why are you so upset? Calm down. What? My kids are in the van. And he's like, I don't care about your freaking kids. I don't care about your husband needs to man up and apologize for honking his horn. And she's like, he's engaging with her.
How old is this guy?
He's probably 40.
How big was he?
He was probably 5'9". He wasn't. I mean,
But
he
how
didn't
big
have
was
to.
he? I mean,
he was bigger than me.
it wouldn't take a whole lot. I mean,
But he wasn't like bodybuilder. I wasn't intimidated by the guy. I mean, Christy and the door were in between me and him. But I told Christy, I was like, let me respond.
handle this. Let me be a man.
I said, let me respond.
You honked and then I honked, man.
I don't remember exactly what I said, but then I tried to like get her to chill out a little bit.
My wife needs to calm down. Like, you honked first, man.
And he's like, you need to give an apology. And he never brought it down. Like, he was just like laying into me the whole time, laying into her.
What were the kids doing?
And the kids were totally silent. Now, I know later, Lincoln was in the very back. So he was like, I was like, what did you guys think? And Lily's like, I was scared. And Lincoln was
Lando is a very sensitive guy, and I would think he would start crying. One time you got hit in the chest with like a water balloon in his presence, and he started crying.
Right.
So was he upset?
I didn't talk to him about it. I think he was more oblivious. He was like, what's going on? But it was like, but Lily was scared, and Lincoln said he was laughing the whole time. He had like his earphones back there. So then I try, this is all like very heated, and there's not a word that you can get in edgewise between Christy and him, like yelling. I'm like, let me respond, and then he's like, well, just I'm gonna stay here until you apologize, and I'm like, well, let me think about that for a minute. And then I said, I'm sorry. I apologize for backing up and almost hitting you. But I'm not apologizing for laying on my horn because of the way you reacted to me almost hitting you. Like, why are you so upset? That's what I said. And he's like,
it's less epic than I was hoping.
And then Christy was like, you just need to, she was like, I don't know if she said you just need to leave or you just need to calm down. You just need to calm down. You just need to calm down. And that didn't work. And he was like, he started getting in his car then, and he was like, you stupid B for marrying that worthless piece of S. You'll get yours one day, man. You'll get yours. He gets in his car and drives away.
That's it?
Was that a threat at the end? So he called her stupid for marrying me, which I'm like, good point.
Yeah, he has a point, but
no, but so then he drives off, and then I get out and I pump my gas, and I had on sunglasses the whole time, which really helped.
Oh, it does.
And I asked the kids later.
See the fear in your eyes.
And Chris was like, kids, see, that's why you need to have self-control. And I didn't know if she was talking about me or him. And I was like, he was just so upset.
Right.
But I shouldn't have beat the horn. I guess that's the mistake.
But you did the right thing. I mean, the rule is, when you get into a situation with a crazy person, your pride has to just not be a part of it. Because when your pride...
I thought I kept my pride. I didn't apologize for honking.
No.
I should have. That was stupid. I should have just been like, you know what, dude? I'm sorry for honking at you. I'm actually really frustrated about these errands, and I took that out on you, and I'm sure we could be friends in other circumstances.
I'm just saying, especially at the end when he said that, like, there's a lot of people that if he said that to your wife, they would say, you should have gotten out of the car and confronted him. But the fact is that dude is crazy.
Oh, he's crazy.
It isn't worth your time.
He was upset.
Or a risk of your own
The moment
personal safety to engage with a guy like that.
The second he thought I was gonna hit him, which I was going at 0 miles an hour. I wasn't gonna hit him. You know, the second he thought that, he was mad because he wanted to exit. And the second I was in between him, he thought I was gonna exit. He didn't know why I wasn't, even though I had a good reason. He thought I was just being stupid. He jumped to a conclusion and he got so mad. Like from that moment, that's why I blew the horn. Because I didn't deserve this, like, I'm just doing a 3-point turn. I didn't deserve a.
Yeah, but dudes like that end up shooting you, man.
Yeah.
You know, that's why you just can't engage. It ain't worth getting shot over.
So what I should have just said, you know what, dude? You're right. I'm sorry for apologizing. For not apologizing.
No, I mean,
sorry for honking.
Well, you basically ended up doing that.
Or just apologizing, but I didn't.
Or just not honking.
I didn't apologize for the honk. I apologized for the going in reverse.